Now, it's 200 years since the birth of Charles Dickens, and there have been celebrations to mark the occasion across the world. Here in the UK, the focus of the day's events has been at Westminster Abbey, where Prince Charles attended a special service at the tomb where the writer is buried. Our correspondent Robert Hall is there for us now. Robert.
Sophie, Poets' Corner here in the Abbey is absolutely full of reminders of our great literary figures. There are monuments here, some of them rather flamboyant, plaques going right back through the centuries. But this was all about remembering one of their number, a man who is now regarded as one of the most successful authors ever.
He has become a literary superstar, feted around the world. But life for Charles Dickens began here, in a modest terraced house close to Portsmouth's naval dockyard. It has survived wartime bombing and post-war development to host the first of today's birthday celebrations. Dickens went on to live in London. At his former home, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall met one of those who've helped to bring his stories to a new generation.
A lot of the emotions that he deals with in his stories are emotions that we still, come up against today, because we're human beings, and the level of sadness and tragedy and loss and longing and sorrow and all of those things, which play out so much in his novels, are still things that we can identify with today.
At Westminster Abbey, under the gaze of musicians, poets and playwrights from the past, the largest ever gathering of Charles Dickens' descendants joined a congregation of more than 700 for a more reflective act of remembrance.
As a member of the family, you've got a slightly different view. When you see the explosion of interest in Charles Dickens for the Bicentenary, it hits the family rather hard, and we realise quite what a special person he was.
This is an extract from Bleak House.
Beside Charles Dickens' grave, Ralph Fiennes, now working on a new version of Great Expectations, reminded us of the author's storytelling brilliance.
I thought, says Joe, who has started and is looking round, I thought I was in Tom All Alone's again. Ain't there nobody here but you, Mr. Woodcote?
Tales which drew on his own experiences, tales which expressed his horror at poverty and suffering, but which could still make us laugh.
The figures we remember most readily from his works are the great grotesques. We have, we think, never met anyone like them, and then we think again.
Charles Dickens had asked to be buried in Kent, the county he'd loved so much as a child, but the public demanded that he be allowed to join other great literary figures here in the Abbey. A man who grew to enjoy all the attention would probably have appreciated their efforts.
Other people marking the bicentenary: Jeremy Hunt, the Culture Secretary, who apparently arrived at Cabinet with a series of Dickens books he'd bought for Cabinet members. This is absolutely as we've been given it. The Prime Minister got Hard Times and Great Expectations, Nick Clegg, Oliver Twist, George Osborne, The Tale of Two Cities, William Hague, The Uncommercial Traveller, and Michael Gove, A Child's History of Britain. No doubt they'll be tested next week. Back to you.
Robert, thank you very much.